Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Wednesday, April the 18th, and welcome to our video commentary. I'm sure by now most of you have heard that former First Lady Barbara Bush passed away in Houston, Texas. She was 92. Obviously, may she rest in peace, and we are thinking about her husband, former President Bush, who's 94, and also in frail health. So I'm sure the family will do their best to comfort Mr. Bush at a time like this. You know, like most of you, I went to the internet to see reactions to the First Lady's death, and honestly, 99% of them were wonderful comments and wonderful memories of a very nice lady and a very nice family. But there was a professor at Fresno State, and I don't even remember the professor's name. It's in the internet. I'm sure you can look it up and see it for yourself, who really went berserk in her comments about the death of Barbara Bush, basically saying she's a racist and that she and George Bush had raised a war criminal, meaning George W. Bush. Well, first of all, my reaction was like, what makes a person do something like that? I mean, you may have differences of opinion with her son, the former president, but to write something like that about the death of his mother is something I don't comprehend. I mean, it just doesn't, in my mind, I don't connect something like that. So my first reaction is, what's inside a person? How much hatred do you have inside of you that you have to use the death of your mother to attack you? It's something that just simply, I just cannot imagine ever doing something like that. I remember when President Clinton's mother passed away, I didn't say anything. I certainly was not going to use that as a way of attacking President Clinton, or for that matter, President Carter when his mother passed away. You know, you don't say anything. If you have nothing to say, just skip it, move on. And I think that in this case, it really makes you wonder how much hatred this lady has inside of her. Secondly, I always love when leftist history professors call somebody a war criminal. They should study their history a little bit better, because war criminals usually don't tolerate dissent. And if George W. Bush was in fact a war criminal, or Trump or whatever, the first thing they would have done is they would have locked you up, and they wouldn't let you teach in a public school. So I find that historical ignorance rather surprising from a person apparently teaching history to our young people. But the last thing that I was surprised is the number of these comments that I saw on Twitter and on Facebook, and these comments were not taken down. And I thought that was interesting because, I would have expected Facebook or tweet or whatever to delete comments like this, or at least to shut down the accounts, as they apparently did with Diamond and Silk, or to say, no, we're going to suspend this, as happens in tweet very often. All of a sudden, you cannot read a comment because it's been suspended, because it's not, they don't consider it to be adequate or readable or whatever for the community. But they haven't done that with this lady. As far as I'm concerned, her tweet account is still open. Now, she did delete the tweet, as I understand, but, the damage had already been done. So, I just don't know what to say. I mean, if I had a chance to speak to this lady directly, I think I would say, what's the problem? I mean, you can write an editorial, you can write a book, you can write anything you want about a former president's policies. But to attack his mother when she's dead, 92-year-old mother, it just doesn't register with me. And it really shows you that there is a problem inside many of these people. They're burning to death with their own hatred. That's all I can tell you. They are committing suicide with their own hatred. And I think these people need they need to do something else with their time, because they're just burning to death, as I say, committing suicide with their own hatred. They're poisoning themselves with their own hatred. Thank you for watching. We have all of these at YouTube, we have them on Twitter, and we have them on my blog. Have a wonderful day, everybody. And again, rest in peace, Barbara Bush. Bye-bye, everybody.